Hello, welcome to this first lecture of Strength of Materials. If we see the learning objectives of this class, these are the learning objectives. First, we will introduce the importance of this course, then the system of units which we are commonly using in this course, and the assumptions what we are taken in our Strength of Materials, and also in that assumptions the important part Saint Venant's principle we will explain about it. So first, if we see, the strength of materials is a part of engineering mechanics. So what is mechanics? It is the science which studies with the forces and their effects. Those effects may include various parameters like reactions, internal forces, stresses and strains, deformations, displacements, velocities, and accelerations. And moreover, this mechanics is mainly classified into two parts. One is dynamics and another one is statics. The study on a structure or an object which is in motion, so the study of mechanics will come under dynamics. Whereas the structure or an object which is in equilibrium, that study will come in statics. The object or the structure which we are referring here or which we are taking into our consideration may be a rigid body or assembly of rigid bodies, or it may be a deformable body, or sometimes it may be a fluid also. If we see that rigid body, a assumption is taken like the body will not deform. The part of mechanics which deals with these rigid bodies is our basic engineering mechanics or solid mechanics, which you already studied in your first year. And the part of mechanics which deals with these fluids like liquid or gas is known as fluid mechanics. And from our course, the part of mechanics which deals with these deformable bodies is called our strength of materials or mechanics of materials. Here, the first assumption is a body may deform. It may bend, or it may yield, or it may lead to fracture. We will see all these terms in our upcoming classes. See, the strength of materials is the foundation for all structural and mechanical designs. Whenever we are constructing a building or a structure bridge, or it may be a machinery part, we need to first design that structure. So for the design, we need to perform analysis, and then we will see whether the structure is a success or fail. Then only we can come into the real picture of construction or building it. So for that, the strength of materials is the foundation. So what we are doing here, I am taking an engineering structure like a building. Okay. Then I am applying loads on that structure, external loads. Those external loads may be axial forces or torsional or twisting forces, or it may be transverse forces like flexure or bending, or apart from that, all combined together, whatever it may be, an external force is applied on that structure. Then we are analyzing that structure. After loading, structure will produce internal forces and moments. From that internal forces and moments, we will analyze the structure. So for our strength of materials, the main internal forces we are taking into consideration are stresses and strains. Then at last, we will see the structural performance. The structural performance may include the deflections or deformations in the structure, or any component of the structure is yielding or it is breaking or giving any fracture. At overall state, whether the structure is a successful structure or it is failing in any criteria. These entire things we are taking in our structural performance. So this is the basic map of strength of materials. Next, if we see the system of units, we are having 4 basic parameters which are majorly used in our subject. Those are distance, force, mass, and gravitational constant G. We are having 2 different units. One is English units or imperial units, and another one is SI units, standard international units or metric units. Pause here for a second and just try to give answers for these parameters. Let's see. The distance is measured in feet in English system, whereas in SI system it is measured in meters. Similarly, force is in pounds, and in SI system we are using newtons, whereas mass is in slug, and in SI system it is in kilograms. We are having gravitational constant as 32.2 feet per second square in imperial system and 9.81 meter per second square in SI system. Basically, we are all familiar with this SI system, but some others are in some textbooks. They refer both English system and SI systems. So let's have a good knowledge on both these systems. Along with this system, we are having common prefixes used in our SI system, which we are using in our strength of materials. So these are the common prefixes we are having: nano, micro, milli, centi, kilo, mega, giga, and tera. If we see an example, 1 millimeter, which is 10 power minus 3 of a meter. So we will convert it like 1 millimeter equal to 0.001 meters. 1 kilometer, which is 10 power 3 times of meter, which is nothing but 1 kilometer equal to 1000 meters. Similarly, we are having some common prefixes in English units also, where these are like 1 point, 1 pica, 1 inch, 1 foot, 1 ad, 1 mile. See, there is a conversion unit from English to metric or metric to English. If you see one example here, 1 foot equal to 12 inches. Just practice more about this system of units while solving the problems. You will come to know about the different conversations or different unit systems. Next, if we see the assumptions, the first and foremost assumption is material is solid and continuous. Whatever the material we are taking into our consideration, that material is solid and continuous without having any breaks or without having any cracks. Next one is material is homogeneous and isotropic. Homogeneous means the entire material is made up of a single element, and isotropic is like if we consider a small part of element from a structure or a big object, the whatever the property possessed by that small element will be same as the another element which is taken from another place, which is nothing but the properties of each and every particle in an object are same and exhibiting same properties. And next one is self-weight of the material is ignored. Whenever we are analyzing a structure, we are applying external loads and calculating internal forces for that external forces only. We are not considering self weight of the material. Then next, superposition principle is valid. If we see what is superposition principle, for example, I am considering a object and I am applying different forces on that object. The resultant forces, either it may be a stress or strain, the resultant forces acting on a body due to these individual forces is the algebraic sum of all the forces on the body, is superposition principle. And the last one is Saint Venant's principle is applicable. If we see this Saint Venant's principle, in theoretical writings, there are different definitions. Okay, whatever the definition it may be, the principle is same. So I am explaining the principle behind this. What is Saint Venant's principle? Whenever a body is subjected to an axial pull or any force, then the internal force distribution is varies to its cross section. How it is varying? When we move away from the force, then the force distribution in this cross section will be equal. See, here I am taking a example of a bar subjected to an axial pull. Okay, then I am taking three cross sections, 1, 2 and 3. If we see the internal force distribution due to this external force at section 1, then directly opposite to the external force, the internal force is more at the cross section, whereas at ends, the internal forces are less. If we move to section 2, the internal force distribution is similar, almost similar, but not equal. Whereas if we move to section 3, the internal force distribution is common or same everywhere in the cross section. So this clearly explains the Saint Venant's principle. That's all for this class. See you in next class. Thank you.